have a tip for all of you that are working in a hospital and have the wired monitoring and are switching to the wireless on a mom, and you've had issues with getting the wireless monitoring to work. So a little bit of background. If you start with the wired monitoring, this is where they have the belts on the belly, and they also have the gel that's been applied to the belly. And when they're switching to the wireless one, which is this one, it's called the Monica. It has a battery that goes here, a little pack, and then it has stickers on each of these little pieces that conduct, and they stick centered to the belly, and then they transmit a signal to the device in the room. And so it's interesting because I watched the staff just kind of clean out the skin, and then they'll use their little sandpaper to sandpaper off the skin under where each of these receivers and transmitters goes. But it's not working. Many times my clients have to go back to the wired version of the monitors. So here is my little hack that I have worked out, and actually it's been a no fail for me for each of my clients, so I thought I'd share it with you today. So the first thing I do is once we have the belts taken off, the wired monitor taken off, I take a cloth and I'll wipe the entire belly off just to get off anything that I can see. I also will take a paper towel to wipe off the belly as well. I now get a brand new cloth. I take this cloth, I put a lot of soap on it and water, then I take it to the belly and I cleanse the belly again. Take this one, put it to the side. I get a new cloth yet again, and I get this wet. I get this all soaked up, and I come in and I really scrub the entire belly all across the whole area where the gel was, where the gel might have been at some point, because these monitors move around, and I just soap and soap and scrub and scrub and scrub. Next thing I do is I get a new cloth. This time I get it just wet, not soapy, really wet, and I wipe off the belly really well with that wet cloth that's just water, trying to get all that soap residue off as much as possible. Then for my final step, I actually take a dry towel. I take my towel, then I rub that belly all over, trying to get off any of the last water amounts that are left on there, and give it a little bit of kind of rub here just to take off any maybe extra skin that's in the area, etc. And then I take and just let that area of the belly dry. And then next comes the nurses will come in, and then they will do their procedure for sandpapering the areas where this Monica goes on, and put this on the belly. So it sounds a little overkill with so many different cloths that I'm using, the soap, the wiping, the drying, all of that, but I found it to be very effective for my clients. In the last birth I went back into the bathroom later, and it didn't look like I had gotten anything off of the cloths. The cloths just looked like normal hospital cloths. But about a couple hours after I had used them to clean the mom's belly, I was in washing my hands and looked at the cloths and noticed that the cloths looked blue. So even though I couldn't see any of that gel on the body, I think somehow it absorbs into the skin, into another layer, and doing that whole process of soaping and wiping off the belly with multiple different cloths helped to get all that gel off. And once the gel's off, then the Monica can transmit better. So it was very fascinating for me to see positive results for what I have been doing, and wasn't sure what was happening, but at least the first two cloths that I did that were soapy water cloths, they had blue on them from the gel that they'd removed, but my eyes couldn't see any gel left on the belly. So it was interesting to see that I had picked it up and removed it. And that's one reason I use several different cloths. I don't want to pick up the gel into one cloth and wipe it on more surfaces of the belly. I'll clean the belly off, put that cloth aside, get a new soap and water cloth, wipe the belly with that, put that aside, get a new cloth to wipe the belly, each time trying to remove any of the gel that's possibly on the skin, so we're back to a clean surface. Same kind of thing if I have a mom who's putting coconut oil or lotions on her belly, I can have problems with the Monica being able to transmit and receive, that kind of thing. So that's what I will do. I will do this whole process with several different cloths soaping, scrubbing, rinsing, and drying the belly. And then we're having the Monicas pick up really well actually from that and lasting all through the rest of labor. So next time you have a client and you have a Monica that's just not working, try this process. Or you have a client going from the wired, the belted monitors to the wireless Monica, try this procedure well and see if it helps you so that your client can be able to move around during labor.